to the
Catacomb
podcast.
created by a madman's distorted desires.
What do you think will be the next obstacle the Earth people will put in our way? The saucers are up there, and the cemetery's out there.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gents. My name is Javin Romero. Welcome to the Catacomb Cult Podcast. Proper. Hope everybody's having a good week. I put out a couple vlogs. I feel good about them. I'm definitely going to have to catch some fucking fish if I keep doing fishing vlogs, though. So I might mix it up and do like metal detecting or something, you know. At least you find stuff, you know, even if it's trash. There is like in a moment, like when it beeps, beep, 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 beep. When it beeps, there's a moment of anticipation that you're like, oh shit, this could be it. Like one time it was beeping deep, or it was beeping a lot, and I was digging, and I was like, fuck, I'm like a foot down, you know, in the sand and shit. And that's a lot, you know, that's deep, man. And yeah, I was like digging. It kept beeping. I was like, damn. I ended up digging like 2 feet, and I was like, the whole time I'm like, holy shit, this is it. I just found Blackbeard's treasure. You know what I mean? But it ended up being a rusted old like tent stake or something like that. But it had to be hella old though, because it was mad rusted and like falling apart. I don't know how fast those like stainless steel tent plates or whatever they are fall apart, but it had to be a good 20 years is my guess, right? That's a vintage tent stake. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I've been getting skunked on each vlog fishing. I only had one bite, and it was the one where I forgot to set the hook. So fishing's been kind of a bust, but I love it. Come on, who doesn't love sitting out there fucking just enjoying the weather, getting in the water, splashing around a little bit, you know? Come on. I've been watching a lot of cool shows lately, too. I talked last week about C. And, yeah, this week I started watching Black Monday, which is, I think, directed, and I don't know if it's created, but it's directed by Seth Rogen and his writing partner, Evan. I don't know his last name, but yeah, man, it's funny as fuck. It always looked good. Like, all the actors are great, like Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Speaking of Regina Hall, if people don't know, Regina Hall, she's the friend in a Scary Movie, all those scary movies. She's Anna Faris's friend. I can't remember their names in there. Cindy, maybe? Cindy's friend in the movie, Regina Hall. But anyway, I was watching Black Monday, and she's in it. She's funny as fuck, like she is in everything. And she's great. And I was like, damn, she doesn't really look much different than she did in the early, Scary Movie 1 came out, I think, in the year 2000. She doesn't look much different. And I asked, I don't want to say it, Alexa how old she was. Alexa, stop. But yeah, anyway, I asked that bitch over there in the corner how old she was, and she said like 52 or something, and I was just like, damn. Regina Hall, man, she's still a smoke show. Let me say that again. She's a motherfucking smoke show. But anyway, the show is funny as fuck, and I'm already like almost, I just started watching it a couple days ago. I'm already almost halfway through the first season. And Don Cheadle, come on, he's like undeniable and everything, you know what I mean? He's amazing. So, yeah, I watched that. Then I watched this movie Pig with Nicolas Cage. National Treasure Nicolas Cage. Pun heavily intended. No, but not really. He is a national treasure. He's going to go down. I know he does a lot of bunk movies. You know, he's got some money issues and gambling and investings or whatever. I don't know if it's gambling. I don't want to slander his ass, but like I know he spends enormous amounts of money on like frivolous stuff. So yeah, but anyway, he's one of our generations, my generations, even my parents' generations, my sister, you know what I mean, and our kids' generations, best actors, man. He's fucking phenomenal. He needs to be in more stuff, man. And if you don't believe me, go fucking watch Mandy. You know what I mean? Or even watch Face Off. He's great in that. But anyway, he's in this movie Pig, and I won't give anything away. It's a hella indie movie, so I don't know how many people are going to see it. It's basically John Wick. This isn't me coining this. Somebody else described it like this. But it's basically John Wick in like the hipster Portland foodie scene. You know what I mean? With like the chefs and all the cooks and stuff. It's a real food, like Top Chef, the show Top Chef, which I love, took place in Portland this year during COVID. You know, it was like, you know how each season it's like Los Angeles, Texas, St. Louis, you know what I mean? Like this year was in Portland, and it is hella snooty up there. He has a truffle pig. A pig that finds truffles, you know? And then anybody knows truffles, you know, they're like fungi that's buried under the ground. And pigs have, like, you can train pigs to find them and stuff. And that's like how he makes a living. I don't want to get into like what his situation is or whatever, just because I don't want to spoil it, just in case you do watch it. But it was hella interesting. And it was funny. And it started off great. But I don't know, it didn't really quite stick the landing for me. Even though I thought it was great and Nicolas Cage was great, but I thought maybe, I don't know, it was good. But it's not like the revenge, because, you know, movies are fantasies or like escapism for people. And it doesn't give you that sad, you know, like when you see a revenge movie, you're like, oh yeah, I would do that. I would do that if this fool killed my mom. I would do that too. And it's like, would you, like, if like you really want to and you really believe that you would, but do you think you really would? You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't, and you know, that's why revenge movies are so appealing. But like Falling Down, remember Falling Down with Michael Douglas? It's like, I think that was early or mid 90s or something, where he's stuck in like traffic. I think he just got fired from his job in LA. It's hot. His air conditioner dies and shit. And somebody like beeps at him or something. And he just goes fucking berserk. That's all of our fantasy. You know what I mean? I think he goes berserk and like kills them all. And then starts killing everybody like his boss and all that. I haven't seen it in literally 20 years. But yeah, you know, that's everybody's fantasy. Everybody's fantasy, like, oh, that motherfucker just cut me off. I could kill him. I would kill that bat. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy like that. People are nuts. They call them invasive thoughts, I guess, right? But anyway, this is more of like the Zen route of Wick. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a good movie though. I mean, kinda. It's very promising. Just watch it yourself and see what you think. I hope that wasn't spoilerific enough. He did have one line that I thought was super dope. It's at 53 minutes. Let's go to 53 minutes.
Okay.
Derek, why do you care about these people? They don't care about you. None of them. They don't even know you. Because you haven't shown them. Every day you'll wake up and there'll be less of you. You live your life for them.
Look at that dude's face.
And they don't even see you. You don't even see yourself. We don't get a lot of things to really care about.
Yeah, but anyway, that's a good scene, man. We don't get a lot of things to truly care about. I like that line, man. It's true, too. I mean, I do care. It seems like I care about a lot of things, but it's like, what could I live without and stuff, and what could I not? And the list is small, you know, and it's small. It's smaller at least, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a great movie. Now I'm calling it a great movie just because of that scene. Just watch that shit. That was great acting. Not only by the great Nick Cage. I mean, he was doing his thing, but whoever that gentleman was, I don't know his name, but it was great. Yeah, I watched J.J. Abrams' UFO documentary, the four parts. I might have talked about it before, but I don't want to get into that yet because I wrote hella notes about that. I almost want to do I think the next episode after this will just be straight up all about that documentary because there are some clips in there that I've never seen, and I'm a UFO nut. I watch like every fucking documentary. I kind of fell off on Ancient Aliens. They started just getting too bananas, but yeah, I want to go through all that because I have mad shit written down and like time codes and shit like that. Yeah, that was a great documentary. I might watch it again, and I don't watch documentaries twice. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and the Black Vault. See, I want to look that up too before I do that episode because I never heard of that. And I tried watching, you know, the OA. I don't know if people have seen that. I don't know if it's just called. I think it's called the OA, and it was pretty good. I watched the first season came out years ago. And the second season came out years ago. But the first season came out years ago. And I watched it with my girlfriend at the time. And we liked it, but I didn't love it. She really liked it, but like I didn't love it. But it was definitely interesting. And there was some moments in it. And the second season, they only came out with 2 seasons. And the second season came out like a few years ago. But anyway, I wanted to see like how they wrapped it up because they never answered questions. But I started watching season 2 and not, you know, I don't like to disparage people because I know how much hard work goes into even like when people see shitty movies and I call out shitty movies all the time, but you still don't even understand how much work people put into those shitty movies. You know what I mean? A lot of it is, you know, killed by people that aren't funny or aren't creative. But anyway, even when those people fucking dampen the movie, all the other people put so much fucking work in the movie. So I try not to talk too much shit, but sometimes it's undeniable. But anyway, season 2, I tried watching it. It's kind of interesting, but it's kind of not. It's kind of like, what? I thought it was like interdimensional. I like picturing, you know, like when people say they see ghosts or something. I don't think it's like a ghost in another realm. You know what I mean? I think there's different dimensions. Like maybe when we die, our energy, our whatever, our atoms change. Something that physics can't explain yet. They change and are able to go into a different dimension and collect there or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what reincarnation is. Yeah, so I was hoping it would get more into that, but it kind of just turned into a time travel thing. And you know me with time travel, even though, what was that last show I really liked that was time travel? They did it cool, though. They did it in like an interesting way. Sometimes time travel can be just like, they use it as novelty, you know what I mean? If you do it interestingly, that's cool. But sometimes, Loki. Loki did it dope. I thought Loki, that shit was badass, the way they handled their time travel. But if you do it hokey and you're like, whoa, you know, I mean, Back to the Future did it hokey, but they were the first to do it, so that makes it great. You know what I'm saying? But when you keep like beating that horse, like, oh, I'm gonna go back and tap myself on the shoulder kind of shit, like that's lame. You know what I mean? So I get you get burnt on time machine shit or time travel stuff, or at least I do. So, or speaking of the OA though, there was, I might try to finish it. The first episode of season 2 was all right, but there's just so much other bomb shit I need to watch. So I can't waste my time if I'm not really digging it. You know what I mean? But I did see, because, you know, if you haven't seen the first one, they do like movements. They do like these and they keep like repeating these movements all together, like synchronized, and it's supposed to make them, I don't know, I guess travel to a different dimension. And when I was looking up the OA for season 1 recap, because it's been so many years, I saw one guy post a video saying proof that the OA, because they call them the movements in the show, but it says proof that the OA movements are real. So let's check that out. Okay, here it is. I did not watch this. I wanted my live reaction to be on the podcast. So this guy says proof the 5 movements from the OA are real. 46,000 views. I mean, damn.
She herself has already used them to shift herself into a different reality. Let me explain. In part 1 of the show, there's an episode where she's in the abandoned house with the boys and she describes how there's all these dimensions or realities right on top of each other.
There are all these dimensions, worlds, alternate realities, and they're all right on top of each other.
We now know from the physicist that what she means is different realities with different versions of ourselves rather than different dimensions. She goes on to explain that in life, each time we're faced with a choice and we make a decision, the universe forks.
That's the many worlds theories. It's hard to wrap your brain around. I still I get it, like, in the sense that it's been explained to me and I've read about, but you know, it's hard to really comprehend what the fuck the many worlds theories are. But it's basically there's many different worlds in different dimensions, I think, where, like, instead of taking this sip of beer right now, I don't take a sip of beer, or I do, or I chug the whole thing, and that goes on for an infinite amount of times with infinite amount of changes with infinite amount of possibilities. You know what I mean? Which infinite, you know what it means, but it's crazy to think about. You know what I'm saying? It's to really like ponder and contemplate infinity. It's crazy. So there's supposedly infinite amount of different worlds, the many worlds theory. Check it out. It's crazy though. It is crazy.
Every time you make a choice, a decision, it forks off into a new possibility. They're all right here.
Let's now consider real-world Britt Marling today, and rewind to 5 or so years ago to when she got the green light from Netflix to move forward with creating this show. Let's imagine that at some point during this process, she gave up and decided that it wasn't worth pushing to have the show made. Let's imagine
he's
that the
playing
OA
all the
never aired
music
on
from the.
Netflix.
But you don't say that.
Obviously, as a result of this, we can assume that the 5 movements were never created and never performed by Britt and her co-stars. Without this show being created and without these movements being performed, where would Britt and the boys and all of her co-stars in the show be today? Would you perhaps say they would be in a different reality? The moment she made that decision, the universe forked. How many things would have played out differently from that point forward? Would she have done all the interviews that she's done? Would she and her co-stars have received the recognition that they've received? Would any of us?
This fool's doing a joke now. All right. Because I don't know the story behind this show, but the show did get canceled. And I'm assuming he's saying he seems to be saying it's because of the lead actress. But like, if she didn't make that decision, would, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's playing a cheap joke and I feel fucking disgusting. Fuck you. Let's hear what else he has to say real quick.
Love the show have had the opportunity to be inspired by her message. Would she have ended up on the Ellen Show with her co-star Ian Alexander? What I'm saying is, how would all of their lives be different as a result of them not reaching that pivotal moment to where they performed the 5 movements? So when someone says these 5 movements cannot shift someone into a different reality, my question is, how are their lives different and how are the millions of viewers' lives different as a result of them performing those movements? I've always been really...
Yeah, but the movements in the show, like, directly are the cause of the change. Like, if you do those movements, you get sucked into another reality, like, instantly. Like, this chick just made a decision not to act in this show anymore, I guess. I don't know the story behind that, but for some reason they didn't continue with the show, so stop it. I feel duped. I feel fucking duped. I'm mad now. No, I'm joking. That dude's just getting clickbait, and he got it, man. Good on him. Oh yeah, here's a little tidbit of something I heard. We're gonna move on from the OA. It has nothing to do with the OA anymore. That dude ruined everything for me. But no. But this is, surf, turf, earth, and birth. Meaning, surf and turf. And surf and turf and earth and birth. I can't say that. People who know me know I talk kind of like stupid, but my tongue. But surf and turf and earth and birth. Surf and turf and earth and birth. I don't know. I like that. Surf and turf and earth and birth. Meaning like lobster, steak, mushrooms or truffles, and caviar. Birth caviar because they're eggs. I thought that was funny as fuck. Surf and turf and earth and birth. I crack myself up. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna look up the Black Vault, and I have mad UFO notes. That's not even all of them. There's like 3 pages of them. So I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, I watched the Suicide Squad. No spoilers here. I really liked it. I know my homie hit me up saying he didn't really enjoy it that much. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I thought it was I thought it was like dope. I mean, Idris Elba was dope. Even John Cena, even though John Cena's kind of scary, man, that fucking apology was, that was creepy. But yeah, I thought he was dope and funny in the show or in the movie. So yeah, check that out. I talked on the last episode about Neanderthals a little bit, and I have this script idea that I want to do, but it's almost like too lofty for me because I want to write stuff right now, at least, that I can make myself, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, a relationship thing or a short horror thing or something like that. Cause like I can get the actors together, maybe a little budget and shoot it myself, theoretically. I know I've been threatening to do that with a couple of my scripts for years. But like this might be a lot. This would be like a big budget movie. But I have a cool idea for like some early man shit. Early man mixed with, modern day man. But yeah, I'm tripping on that. I've been tripping on space a lot lately too, like they say the future isn't like, there's some people that say the future, what do they call it? They call it a block timeline or something like that, where the future already happened, but you still have free will somehow. There's like a predetermined future, but somehow you still have free will. I can't remember, or there's a lot of other scientists believe that only the past and present are real. You know what I mean? And the future is undetermined. Meaning, like how we all experience time. Like we all know our pasts are real and our present is real, but like each second's undetermined. You know what I mean? Like a fucking bullet could fly through this window right now and, whatever. But I've been tripping on like space and time because, time can be fucked with too by gravity. Black holes can bend time. So it's like a thing. I don't know. And I've been tripping like, when you look at the sun, which stare at the sun every day, you got to stare at the sun every day. Stare right into the sun every day. No sunglasses or anything. But yeah, when you stare at the sun, you're seeing the sun 8 minutes ago because it takes the sun's light 8 minutes to get to the earth. That's crazy. Like even the sun is 8 minutes old. So, that's the whole thing where you see the galaxy or a star that's 100 light years away. You know what I mean? You're seeing the light from 100 years ago. And, there's some that are millions of years ago. So you're seeing light. It's like a trip to think about time. There is no like global time in the universe. So Yeah, I don't know. I've just been tripping on that, and I might do something on that lately. Cause I've been listening to the podcast Infinite Monkey Cage with Brian Cox. Man, he's the bee's knees, dude. He's the bee's knees, and I love the shit. So I've been tripping on stuff like that. We might do some stuff like that. But anyway, oh yeah, I went on this tangent earlier about how I don't like to talk shit on movies, because I know how much work goes into it. But I watched this movie which has so many dope comedians in it. So many dope comedians in it. And it's called How It Ends. How It Ends. I'm going to whisper it. How It Ends. And it is so incredibly boring. It's so incredibly boring. And it's so like trying to be smart. I know I sound like an idiot explaining this, explaining how it's dumb, but it's trying to be smart and interesting and quirky, but it's not at all. It's not interesting. It's not funny. It might be smart, I guess, but you still got to be interesting and entertaining. And it just makes me mad because it doesn't make me mad. And it just like kind of irks me because it's like give somebody else a chance who wrote a dope script. Like I want to look at, I should look this script up and read it because it would just be like, what the fuck? And somebody paid money to make that a fucking movie. And I know it was during COVID and it was all outside and like, whatever. That's not an excuse anymore. You've seen all the badass shit coming out during COVID. Fuck that. It was just horrible. It was a horrible story. It's a cool premise. And I think it's been done before. I think Steve Carell did it. Basically, the premise is, there's a comet coming. So we all know when we're going to die. You know what I mean? It's like the last day on Earth. Not last man on Earth, but it's like everybody has the we're all going to die tomorrow. What are we going to do today? That kind of thing. And it's quirky. It's not even quirky. I don't even want to say that. It was so god awful. Fuck that. And all the actors in it, I'm not talking shit on you because they were badass. Or they are badass. They are like some idols of mine. I've seen them at the Comedy Store. I've seen them at the Meltdown, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, man, like give somebody else a chance, man, who really worked hard and really wants to like put a mark, man. Like me. I mean, I'm not even on that level. I'm not saying like pick me, but I'm saying somebody like even more advanced than me. Like I'm still trying to make my way up those ranks, but like, man, I got cooler scripts than that, guaranteed, man. And it's not just me like being precious of my scripts. I know I have scripts that I've written that would entertain people more than that fucking movie. What's its Rotten Tomatoes? If it's high, man, I'm gonna be pissed. And I don't mean to like just fucking lambast this fucking movie, but damn, man, it's got a 65, which is fresh in Rotten Tomato world. Jesus Christ. 45 said fresh, 24 said rotten. The audience score, those are critics. The audience score is 49, so it's rotten. How could it be 65, man? I maybe they're just giving them like dap for doing it during the pandemic, but how can this be 65? I just no. All right, I don't want to fuck with this. I don't want to like just harp on this movie, but it's pretty crazy, man. A quirky yet poignant comedy. No, it's not. A resolution that's heartening and satisfying. No, it's not. Not satisfying or heartening. More like heartening my fucking blood vessels to burst in a heart attack or an aneurysm fucking because I'm so pissed. No, I'm joking. Had just enough marginal charm to keep afloat. Like, what? That means, but he marked it great. He marked it, tomato. Tomato means fresh. And this is his review, had just enough marginal charm to keep it afloat. Meaning, like, this movie really kind of sucked, but there was some parts I liked. That's basically what it is. Like Pig. I know that was like kind of my review for Pig, but Pig blows this fucking movie out the water. Here's the person that said it was rotten. Finally, out of all these tomatoes, there's a rotten. The comedy worked for me fitfully? F-I-T? Fitfully. I don't know that word. Is that a word? Fitfully? Not regularly or continuously, intermittently. So I guess she's saying the comedy didn't work all the time, but kind of, even though I don't even remember. There was one part that was pretty funny, and it's Fred Armisen. And Fred Armisen is funny fucking... He could be opening a box of cereal and eating it, and you would laugh at him because he's fucking funny. So the comedy worked for me fitfully. The drama didn't work for me at all. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good... And here's another rotten. In this time-wasting apocalyptic comedy, the end of the world is depicted as Los Angeles hipsters and weirdos acting as annoying as possible and thinking that they're hilarious. Exactly. They thought they were... This movie thought it was so funny. Ugh. You can see that on the Hollywood Boulevard for free. Good on you, Carla Hay. Carla Hay. Good on you. All right. Yeah, and there's a bunch. I don't want to like shit on that movie. Like, I know people made it, but those are the movies I get mad at. Like, don't fucking make that movie. Make my homie's movie. You know what I mean? I have a homie that's written crazy dope scripts, and he's a badass cinematographer. They need to give people like that a chance. Not like this. Whatever. All right. Sorry. I hate ending on bitter notes. So, as always, give everybody in your family a fat, sloppy... Look, I just spit everywhere. That's how salivated I'm getting. That's how much I'm salivating thinking of a fat, sloppy, wet kiss to your whole family. All right. Anyway, I love you. Peace out. Thank you for listening. Catacomb Cult. Please like and subscribe. See you later.
Established in 399 BC, this is the Catacomb Cult.